All right, we're out here at North Dakota for the 10K, about in the middle of our first practice session. Did a couple of laps. Car's feeling really good. I'm stuck between second and third. Second just and third is, a little bit of clutch kicking here and there. So it's gripping up really good with some 275s on it. So we're gonna keep going on for a couple more practices. It's about 85 degrees out. The wind is pretty still. It's hot, but no, it's going really good. My engine temps are getting kind of warm, so I'm bringing up bringing this up. You can spray down the radiator in between runs, keep the engine cooling, or keep the engine cooler. So that's that. That's our only real issue right now is just the heat. So, and that's kind of common. So hopefully I get some videos of a couple of runs out there. So I'm gonna jump in line, do a couple of leads, with just random people, and just figure it out. Just gonna keep. It's Friday. Getting towards the end of practice all day. We had practice from 11 to 7, and this is probably only my fourth time out. Oh, there's Derek. So I've been a little bit too conservative. I should have been out here a lot more, but in those couple of runs I did take, I was a little bit low on pressure. Yeah? Good. Like I said, I was a little bit low on pressure, and it was really dogging down, which I have never had so much dialed into the car that it was actually starting to die. So I bumped up the pressure a couple more PSI, and we're gonna see how that runs. So it's going good. So everything else is working really good. A lot of fast drivers out here this weekend. It's gonna be, there's not one battle where I feel comfortable winning, which it's pretty crazy. I'm excited. I'm really excited to drive with some really fast guys tomorrow. So gonna get as much practice I can in without breaking the car, and it'll be a good day. So we'll have all night to fix it. Comp's at noon tomorrow anyway. So all right, back at it. All right, what a weekend, huh? The 10K at SRD Auto Repair, top end Interstate Raceway, was awesome. Super good driving from everybody. I feel like it keeps getting stepped up more and more, the driving quality. And yeah, it was a really good time. Threw on some 275 Federal RSRRs, and they were eating. I couldn't get under 16 psi without it bogging down, but that could have been a gearing issue, and I really didn't feel like fixing the gearing issue. I'd rather just mess with tire pressures and be okay with that. It'd be okay in second gear, but it would just be on rev limiter the whole time. So we just stuck in third, and that's when, I didn't have to shift or anything. The car really wouldn't stay cool. I was talking to some boys out there, and they were talking about keeping this all duct from the tires, because they were saying, the air just comes out here and just kind of cycles and just keeps going. So maybe I'll do some kind of a scoop, but a plexiglass scoop, so the air can be driven into here and just from like the sides here when, in drift. And then we'll have some ducts or some like side panels right here, kind of keeping that air from, being forced going into the radiator. The radiator's off right now. If any of you guys saw, I had a pretty gnarly crash, so we'll get there. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then we're also gonna replace these fans here. I really like this shroud, but we're gonna switch out. We're gonna see if I can switch out this shroud here to fit some better fans in there. But we'll see what happens. Might Frankenstein something up, or I just might use my old shroud and fans, because that worked much better than these do. As you can see, this is really pushed in. So I was going against Rome, Charpentier, and I hit the wall once, but it was like more back here. It was okay. It wasn't this far bent in. Or was it? Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, and then I led Fielding Shredder and lost my line as he was rotating for a spin out because he snapped an axle. I glanced back. I took a glance back just because I'm drifting this way, going that way. And so I thought I felt his momentum kind of change and almost stop. So I kind of glanced over for a quick second just so I can get out of my peripheral view that I know he was way out of rotation. Then by the time I looked forward, I was way too deep in the zone, and the tires were catching onto all of that tire dust that's been piling up all weekend. And after that, just try to throw more angle in on it, and I was just already too late. I stomped the gas, kind of rotated, wasn't enough, then back, front, up in the air, slammed back down, and I grabbed the steering wheel what just happened? It was, I've never been in that gnarly of a crash. I was just dumbfounded that I would do something like that. But it happened. Going through the list of people I went against. I started off going against, I actually got a bye run, and only 3 of us got bye runs. It was a chip draw, it wasn't qualifying or anything. So ended up going against Nate Hamilton right away, and I was first off to lead, and I'm doing everything like I was normally doing. Come back to the decel zone at the very far of the track, and he checks up he just checked up too quick, and he hit me pretty good, and it pushed me off course. I hate to take the win that way, but I mean, it wasn't on me, and I really wish it would have been. So all I had to do is make a solid chase, and I've never felt that kind of pressure before in this whole drifting. career, whatever you want to call it, or since I've been drifting. Yeah, I was shaking a little bit, so I just made a clean run, kept decent proximity, maybe about an average of about a car away, and I wasn't pussyfooting it. I was trying to keep up, and even the way he set up this year, it's still fast. It was still a very fast chassis. After that battle, I believe I went against Alex Chaput, or however you say his last name. I'm sorry. He was actually in a borrowed car this weekend. His pink car he swapped over to an LS, and they were trying to get it tuning all day. I think it was Friday night. And they were finally got it running, got it moving on its own power, and they were trying to just figure stuff out, and then all of a sudden it wasn't running anymore. I think there was some catastrophic failure in the bottom end that was now all of a sudden appeared. So he ended up borrowing Cody Buchanan's practice car, I believe, his Red Z. And yeah, that was a good battle. The dude can drive. Very consistent lines. He just wasn't in the fastest car, and we had some really good battles. I didn't see really any footage of him with him in the chase position, but I was pretty close on my chase, and they called it win for me, so that was awesome. And then we went against fielding. I chased first. And that was just about the same, between about a half car to a full car length behind him the whole time. And he's another fast one too. All these cars are getting so fast out here. It's costing me money, guys. Come on, stop it. Slow down. But like I said, I was about a half car to a car in distance to him. Good lead line. Did really awesome. And then, so we switched it up. I led, and then that's when all the craziness. And it was on the last turn too, which is unfortunate. All we had to do is one more turn, and then we were all done. But that's racing. It's just what it is. So we're gonna get into what broke. Okay, so. I didn't really inspect this too crazy quite yet. I'm actually walking through it with you guys. So as you can see, okay, let's get under here. You can see the lower, let's go through this. That lower control arm is just tacoed. See right there, it tacoed up, and it snapped this suspension arm off of the PPM drop knuckle. Oh, that's where I'm losing fluid. So then it popped this line off, or kinked it or something, to where it's leaking fluid now. So I'm glad it's not I hope it's not the caliper still. It looks pretty wet down here though. I'll have to check into that. The subframe unfortunately does look a little bit tweaked. I'm gonna see if I can find any like kinks in the metal where I think it would be. To be determined. Snap the axle. Let's see if we can see the cup. Oh yeah, it snapped it clean off right there. So that's kind of what happened back here. Oh, and then obviously you saw before I snapped this wheel. This was in the rear. And then this one was in the front. It snapped that one too. And then in the front, let's see how good them boys welded up. Ooh, that even looks kind of bent, don't it? Oh yeah. So the bolt that's actually in here ripped the threads out. So there were no threads in there, and we were just in kind of a pickle to get this chassis up into the trailer. So that's what we did. We just welded it. Oh, that's loose. That one's not. So that's the little fix we did for now. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it or not. I guess I'm just gonna play with it and see if this rod here is actually bent. I'll go from there, but it's hard to find a steering rack for these chassis. The FDF kit so far, this is the side that obviously got hit, or that smoked the wall, and it looks okay. Oh boy, that don't look okay, does it? Yeah, that looks fucking bent. Oh, okay. So that looks all bent out of shape. Oh god, yeah. Let's get a look from the bottom here. Oh, you can't really tell. Huh. I'm gonna have to do some inspecting on that, but I do think that this mount is pushed forward. Okay. And obviously this bash bar is bent all out of shape. This got pushed way in. And then the rear bash bar got way bent in here. Snap this support bar off to hold this from flapping like that. And then it bounced off the radiator. Let's see, can you see that? So it just sits in these little mounts and kind of pushes down on these mounts. And it looks like those mounts actually just bent down, and then so the radiator just popped out of place. It's still connected, it's not leaking, didn't crack anything. So that's kind of the damage assessment. You know how it is, you start digging into it and you find more pieces that are bent or broke or leaking. I did notice I've got a couple more leaking spots in like the engine area. So I'm gonna check all that out. You know, when you come down like that, when you hit a wall that violent, I mean, it rocks stuff apart. I actually did crack the windshield here. See that it cracked, brand new windshield. So that's cool. So I'm gonna switch that out. See, I keep reminding myself of things that actually snapped up. The chassis seems to be straight. I haven't found any kinks on this area or before this area back here, or even in the engine bay. It all looks pretty good. I don't see any cracks. So yeah, so we're just gonna start taking shit apart and trying to get all the replacement pieces I need, weld up new bash bars. Might try to still save this one, just bend it out, back out. Probably remake an entire rear bash bar. And yeah, I got some work ahead of me before the 5K event. So we're gonna get after it. All right, so we just assessed some damage in the rear. I got a couple of things that I didn't realize were broke, but I mean, it's not too bad, I guess. This is what we got. So we got that upper control arm. I mean, this is just some cheap old one that I've had forever, so it might be time to upgrade that. This is the line for the handbrake, and it kind of opened up right there. You can kind of see, not really, but just trust me, that kind of opened up the gap out here, and it was slowly seeping out. Snap the axle, clean right there. And this is just tacoed. This is what I think took most of it. Yeah, and it was even boxed in, but yeah, I got it pretty bad. And then the PBM drop knuckle. So, I guess this is pretty common. I've done this before. Snap that off. But yeah, so that's kind of it so far. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for tonight. God dang it, just wash my hands. This looks good. Just a little dent right here. But I don't think it's gonna really affect the piston or anything, so. So yeah. That's pretty much it for tonight. Got it unloaded, got it on the stands, and got, you know, the major damage assessed a bit. So yeah, another day. We'll get this thing back. Like I said, we got about a month till the 5K. So time to call some people and get some replacement parts. We'll see what happens with the cosmetics. We'll see if I get that far. All right, later.